Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hey everybody, the old captain here, back from our road trip, and you can see we're back at the regular home office here, and I have a kind of an interesting request. I'm just going to summarize it here. I'll read the email. This comes from Rod. Aaron, I recently had a conversation with a liberal via text messages about climate change and brought up the data from the Vostok ice core samples. And if you don't know what that is, if you go back, Vostok is a place in Russia, and what they did is they bore some ice cores out, and they could tell how much carbon and effectively recreate the temperatures going back 400,000 years ago. And so I use this as one of the reasons I really don't believe that in man-made global warming, because it is so varied and chaotic that it, on the chart, the thickness of my thumbnail, not the width, but the thickness of my thumbnail is what everyone's getting their tits in a bundle about in global warming. But when you look at the Vostok ice core data, you look, it's like, this is a joke. This is nothing. I mean, it's laughable, and it's one of the key pieces of data why I just don't believe global warming is a thing. It may be warming, but it's so irrelevant that you could just see it as a scam. Anyway, so he showed her this, and thus his request here. As you could imagine, she wouldn't even acknowledge that data and tried to change the topic, as you said liberals do. The funny thing is, I have a whole conversation in my files, so I'd love to send it to you for review and use it as an example in a video about arguing with liberals. Thanks. So I have not read it here. I downloaded it. I pulled it up. I'm going to shrink this a little bit, though. Let's shrink it down to 50. Okay. So he's in the dark, and she is in the light. Okay, so he says, I'm arguing against us causing it. The graphs show, which the climate nuts won't admit, that fluctuations in temperatures have been happening in a predictable pattern for 425 years. But like I said before, the libs don't deal with facts and figures and charts. They go with emotions and ideals. Now she responds, don't generalize. It's a shallow thought process. Okay, so I'm going to intervene right here, and we're going to do a play-by-play. You just prevented her data, and now she's like going to you're ignorant, you're generalizing, these are the defaults. She did not respond to the thing you said, okay? Now you continue. It's true, they ignore hard data and will change the subject when presented with such data. Change the subject or scream racism, etc. Now she responds, there is no they in the world. Have you ever asked me my opinion? See, again, she's refusing. She's constantly avoiding. She's not directly answering the question. And this is expected. This is standard behavior from leftists and typically broads. The young man responds, I already know. She responds, you seriously need to come to... Oh, okay, I don't need to read that. Oh, okay. You seriously need to come to my Xmas party at my house if you want 7 solid days of discussing topics top to bottom. 7 days? 7 days? Solid days? To solve whether or not global warming is a fraud or not? See, I don't know. This is a joke. That's hilarious. She doesn't even directly... It would take 7 days. I guess what she's being honest here. She says, well, I'm never going to respond directly, so our discussion and progressing towards a resolution is going to take so painfully and glacially slow. It would take 7 days to resolve something that if we were intellectually honest and looked at data, we'd have it probably solved in about 10 to 15 minutes. You say no way, laughing out loud. She says it's half Republicans and half Dems, and anyone might switch sides at any point. He responds, okay, so I guess like her family is half Republicans, half Democrats. He says, just tell them what I said. Each side speaks different languages, so it's useless to discuss any of it. And you're right, okay? She says, not with us. If you can prove your case, we'll agree. But she just proved that's a lie. She just disproved herself. She's contradicting herself. You presented data right there for her, and now she chose to ignore it and now talks about her party. It's cowardly and weaklingness. It's weakness. It's... So, laughing out loud, unlikely. Read Aaron's email. I don't think she's talking about me, Aaron, probably another Aaron. Show any of them that believe in global warming or climate change these ice core data samples. I doubt they will reconsider. Jeff has been a Republican. Now she's responding. Jeff has been a Republican his entire life. Mom a Democrat, Aaron a Democrat. Forrest and Ness are Democrat, but they make $400,000 a year. Again, you're right, kid. This has nothing to do with what you said. She goes right, and I don't know what she's tried to say. Change his topic. You made a note. Change his topic. Of course, she changed topics. See, and this is the bait that you're going to go for, saying, well, what does that have to do with it? And already she succeeded. I don't even think they're aware they do this. They know that they're going to lose, and then they come in. But what about Bush? You know, what about chemtrails? What about Iraq? You're like, what the fuck is this? And you identified it perfectly right there. And then good for you, look at what you did. You say, what about the ice core sample data? And then she responds, my family is rather wealthy. Fucking cunt. You fucking cunt. You coward. This is why, you wonder why you make only about 75% what men do, because you lack intellectual honesty, you lack logic. Look, you want to be treated as an intellectual equal, you want to be treated as genuine men, you got to start being logical like men. I mean, that's a big, what does this have to do with her family being wealthy? Oh, I know I shouldn't get worked up, I should know better, I know exactly what's happening here. But, I mean, you're just beating your head against a wall. This shows that these girls have and there's men too. This has had nothing really to do with women. But I just like picking on women to get them agitated. This is either they are consciously doing it or there's a lapse of logic. There's something wrong with their brains that they just refuse to. I think it's fear. I think it's ego. They want to belong to Team Global Warming, and now you're just like, presenting data that shatters their worldview. Asshole said, and this is him, asshole said libs try to change the subject when they're pinned in a corner. And he's right. And Republicans get angry and start yelling that you're stupid. She changed the topic again. Look, you're being intellectually honest. You're trying to, right here again, you say, what about the ice core sample data? You keep bringing it back to that. It's this one point. Now, by this time, I don't know how much time you've wasted. Both of you, she says, all this could have been resolved. This could have had much more progress. She says, okay, let me look at the data. I don't know how you would look at that data and say, wow, you are right. There is an awful lot of variation in the data, and the climate change is quite minuscule compared to historical reasons. Now, it would be incumbent upon her to explain why the ice core data is wrong. And have to be a legitimate and valid argument, or kind of disproving it, saying, well, the way they measure ice core data samples is wrong or flawed or whatever else. But she's not going to go that route. She's going to keep talking about her family and fucking nothing that has anything. And then the name calling, Republicans get angry and start yelling that you're stupid. Because, lady, you are! I mean, I know you have the capacity to be intelligent, but you're not displaying it or executing it or exercising it. You are going into a corner and running and dodging. You're a snake. You're slimy. Well, snakes aren't slimy. They're actually quite dry. But you're like a slug or a worm. You're always wriggling out of it. Fucking stand up and be an equal and say, yeah, maybe I'll look at it. I mean, at what point, all these liberals, all these leftists want to claim they're open-minded. All right, here you go. Here's a chance for you to be fucking open-minded. Practice what you preach. And you just prove time and time again, you're ideologues, you're religious zealots, you're fucking, you may have not gone to church, you say, Christianity's stupid, it ain't for me. You just took one religion and replaced it with another. Now you're like, what, are you a feminist too? Are you a socialist? You believe in things that don't work? And now this global warming shit. And then you ask, what about the ice core sample data? She responds, I have no idea. I have no kids. I'm not a polluting business, and I have no intention of creating any change. Do you buy products from businesses, sweetheart? Hey, sugar tits, did you buy products from businesses? Because then you're responsible. You're responsible. You bought it. You paid them to go pollute the environment. I have no idea. Well, then you should say, I have no idea. So I'll go research this now because it's pointless for us to go on. I have no intention of creating any change. Seems like a waste of time to research the topic. Oh, you fucking coward. You fucking weakling and, I might say, inferior person coward. That is what a coward does. Seems like a waste of my time to research the topic? then shut the fuck up. You don't have any right to talk about global warming anymore. You're not going to research the topic, then fuck you. Be a little 8-year-old kid, play with your fucking Legos, watch your fucking TV shows, do whatever you want to do, but no longer enter the realm of debate about global warming or any other topic you're too lazy to do research on or even to think about. Laughing, now this is him, laughing out loud doesn't take much research. It's a simple graph. You gotta, like, you're just like beating the fucking shit on her. She's hanging on the ropes. That's a boxing term there, sweetheart, if you don't know what that is. And she just like, I'm not losing. Now she responds, but it still comes down to intention. What the fuck does that mean? Wait, is there a school you go to learn to talk like this? That doesn't mean anything. See, this is the slimy, wriggly worm and oil and grease. Just can't hold on to it. Asshole is right. I think he's referring to me as asshole. You guys are intellectually dishonest. No offense. She responds, no, there is no they. Yes, there is a they, and you're part of them. And again, switching the topic of conversation. He responds, I understand why you don't want to know about that data, and it's okay. Good. You've made the debate about whether you can even debate this girl. And then she says, I would vote Republican if I thought they'd do a good job. What does your voting preferences have to do? A good job on what? On what? Global warming? You've already proved you don't want to research global warming. He says, I'm going to send that text conversation to him, which he has. She responds with kind of a diatribe here. Do you believe that women who are raped by their stepfather deserve it? What? Where did rape come from? Sweetheart, you are the epitome of a liberal leftist. I think I'm going to put this... Oh, no, I can't. It's all PDF. Maybe I could export it as images, but we've read through it. We don't need it. And then she continues on, at the age of 12 should have their babies because God intended it. What does a boy... What the hell? Even if it means killing the mom because their hips aren't wide enough, so it's fine that a Republican in Wisconsin is going to pollute Lake Superior because a big business paid him off. Have fun drinking water after your workout. What the hell? I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. It's a real sad tragedy that these are the women you gotta marry. Because they don't understand that you gotta go and work and make money and you'd like to have a household. Maybe you'd like to raise a family. And these girls are so brainwashed. This is proof positive that you're trying to talk about global warming. You can't even pin her down on that. And now she's talking about abortion and Republicans polluting Lake Superior. And these girls are going to, presumably be the ones that you're going to marry. And they're going to stab you in the fucking back by voting in Democrats and socialism to tax you over while you're just trying to make a living and support the family. This girl is so clueless how her ignorance is costing her future in terms of a family. How much she's inviting in the state and government to ruin her personal life, her familial life. If she wants to have kids, yeah, damn right, sugar tits, you're going to have to work a job and your husband. Let's say you two were supposed to get married. You're the guy you're having a conversation with, he's got to go out and work money. Well, we got to pay a 50% tax rate. Don't shut your fucking yap if you don't know what the tax rates are. You don't pay 50. Yes, you fucking do. So shut your yap. Now you get to work so that you can pay for daycare and all this other stuff and taxes so you have enough post-tax income to maybe afford the basic necessities of life. And you don't understand how you're just voting in more and more government because you believe in global warming, but you're too much of a lazy bitch to fucking look this shit up to actually form an informed opinion about it while claiming to be independent-minded and very intelligent, educated college student. You have no idea how much you're torpedoing your own life in your own future. None. He says he's going to have fun with this one. I am. This is wonderful. I'm getting paid on top of it. She responds, you're such a groupie. The name calling again. Listen, sugar tits, if you're going to name call, I'm going to name call. I don't even know if you got nice sugary tits. Maybe you have pruny tits. I don't know. Prune tits, listen. You are... mocking yourself. You are what do they call it? You are a parody of yourself. You don't realize how much you look like the idiot in this discussion. To anyone with the semblance of intellectual honesty and logic, okay? Ideologues are not they're gonna say, well, you go, you tell him he's really, groupie. Ask him what he thinks about 12-year-olds, about girls being raped at 12. Here's my policy on girls being raped at 12, let alone any age. It's bad. It's really, really bad. What it has to do with global warming is nothing more than you doing the na 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 bark 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 na 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 na. You're a chicken. You are a fucking chicken. Oh, dude, this is classic textbook example of them changing the topic. Oh, we had more ask him. She's gonna ask me more questions about what he thinks about getting a cancer at 42 because large companies polluted his water. Cancer rates have been going down, sweetheart. We're getting better and more healthy as time goes on. I think it would be bad if a company polluted the water. But again, I'm wondering what that has to do with global warming. Ask about GMOs and how big biz is changing produce to make a few more sense. I don't know what that has to do with global warming. I would be against GMOs if it had some provable negative effects, of course, but that is a completely separate discussion. Ask how the rep are faking the immigration thing, or the Republicans are faking the immigration things because they're actually the ones shipping them over. Again, it could, let's say the Republicans are shipping them over. I'd be very upset about that. What does it have to do with global warming? I'm awaiting a response from the asshole. She says, right, because he's your brain says you have had a lobotomy. No, see, the name calling it, look, sugar tits or prune tits, mosquito bites. He is just simply trying to get you to stay on topic. And you have gone and brought in all this other shit that has nothing to do. No wonder it takes 7 solid days to get a fucking conclusion over at your families. If you guys argue like this, shit, you'll be arguing about what color the grass should be. Holy shit. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Oh, God, shut the fuck up. What does that mean? You can't hug a child with nuclear arms. What the fuck? See, I surround myself with sane, educated, mature people. Maybe not even educated, just mature, intelligent people. And I never suffer this crap because we deal with adults. And I'm not talking, age adults. I'm just talking mature adults. Like, when we have a conversation, it has, like, some kind of point. It has integrity. It has logic. This is you turning into a blob of blah, so nothing can stick. Nothing can stick. On the opposite side of things, the phase divide and conquer applies to your fighting the Republican Dems. So if you really believed, why would you let yourself be divided? Dude, is this girl like 14? Are you sure she's an adult? Again, nothing to do with global warming. Okay. So, what's the question? My question would be, how do you keep a conversation on track when trying to prove a liberal's viewpoints wrong with factual data? Thanks, Ron. Well, you tried your best. You did. But what you have to realize is intellectually honest leftists are very rare, okay? And I'm not saying this to insult. I'm saying it's true. Most of them have a mental problem. They do. It's not a dysfunctional or like a highly dysfunctional. I'm not saying they're mentally retarded. There's something wrong with them. And that is they are delusional. They do not adhere to logic or reality if it goes against the religion. Now we can argue the same thing about on the right with the religious right. Oh, Jesus, my Bible, Jesus. I mean, the same thing. Where's the fucking proof? And they run to that. See the Bible. No, that's not proof. That's indoctrination and propaganda. I want empirical evidence that not only God exists, but that your God, the Christian God, is the right one. They can never turn it up. All right? And no matter how many times you go around in the circle with them and you got them up on the ropes, they will never admit they don't know. Because they have placed more value on a religion, be it a political religion like global warming, feminism, socialism, whatever, or a real one, Christianity, than they have reality, facts, empiricism, and data. So if they love their religion, again, politics or traditional religion, more than they love reality, there's no getting through to them. They are delusional. And the only way to respond to that or keep them on task is to realize you're not going to win it. You're not going to lose. Well, you win in the real world, but you're never going to convince them. I can't convince a psychopathic ISIS agent to give up Islam. I can't. They're gone. They're ideologues. They're so wet. That's the only thing they have in life. Now, I bet you nuts to bolts, and this is a thing that you got to think about and ask. What does this girl do outside of being a leftist? What value does she have? Because you typically see this in religious people, zealots, ideologues of any type of kind. Feminists have what? They have nothing. They're just, I'm a feminist. Well, are you an engineer? Do you build things? Are you a mother? Are you a father? Are you an accountant? What do you do? What defines you aside from like your beliefs? And I bet you when you look at this girl's background, she's probably your typical college-age girl majoring in the liberal arts, offers really nothing of value, has really no career prospects, and that means that she's got to find value and validate her existence somewhere, so she's going to go to a religion. Right now, she's not going to join ISIS. She's probably not going to join Christianity because that's not cool. But right there, as predictably as possible, she swallows whole what she's been brainwashed to believe. The global warming, feminine oppression, all this other stuff that she's been fed in the schools and by the media. While all at the same time claiming she's an independent-minded girl. She can't even look at a chart. So, I mean, it may explain why she's delusional, why you're never going to get through to her, or any other liberal, typically most liberals, and why your strategy when debating a liberal is to simply not bother with it. Make your point, keep them on track like you did, but be prepared that they're always going to try and wiggle out of it, because they're wrong. Deep down inside, they know they've never done the integrity in the study. It's why Christians run and grab, see, it's in the Bible right here, right here. No. You show me, using the scientific method, why you're right. And if you can prove God, and it's the Christian God, not the Jewish God, I will go to church immediately tomorrow. You know, today. I'll go to church regularly. Shit, I'll change my whole life if you can prove that. These people, they have no empiricism. They have no proof. So the only other thing I can say, I've mentioned this many times before, but if you haven't seen the video, I'll recap it here. The only thing that you can really do with this girl, or guys in general, but I prefer girls because you can always put sex on the table, is my old patented betting tactic. All right? Understand her spouting off her mouth costs her nothing, but if you bet a guy $10, and I did this in parties because I was the one Republican or conservative or libertarian at the parties in my youth, someone would try and pick a fight, and I'd end it quickly because I didn't want to ruin the party. I'd say, I bet you $10 you're wrong, but it had to be on something very specific and provable. I bet you GDP for the past 5 quarters has averaged according to the Fred database or at the Federal Reserve. All right, so you have this, you agree on the terms, you agree on the number, there's no wiggling out of it, they still wiggle out of it. You hand over your $10 each to your buddy Bill, who doesn't really give a flying fuck. You go and you prove the numbers, and then you win, you get the money. Now, I've only had like 1 or 2 people actually take me on a numerical bet, like a money bet. But when it comes to girls, you could be actually quite charming and endearing. If she's hot, say, I bet you get da-da-da-da-da-da. Again, something provable, something with pre-agreed upon terms. Just say, well, what do you want to bet? He says, well, you say, if I lose, I'll come over to your house and clean it. She'll say, well, what about if I lose? You say, you give me a blowjob while dressed in a naughty nurse outfit. And then it's like, oh, and see, here's the thing. Liberals are fucking cowards. Because if the girl knows that she's right, like she actually did the research, she'll be like, fuck, I'll bet anything. I don't even need to go buy the French maid, or not the French maid, the nurse outfit, because I know I'm right. I got the data right here. We looked it up. He didn't look it up because he's ignorant. It's the reverse. 9 out of 10 times, it's the leftist that's ignorant. They've never looked up the data. And then when you actually attach a price to having ignorant political views, now it brings them into now there's a real cost and consequence. So what will happen most of the time is they'll just, oh, I'm not going to, and then you say, then shut the fuck up. No. If you can't even bet $5 or a blowjob on your political views, that you go out and vote in the future to determine the outcome of this nation, if your participation, vitally important participation in this country's economy and leadership and government is so worthless, you can't even bet confidently $5 or a blowjob on it, then shut the fuck up. It's not even worth $5 and it ain't worth a fucking blowjob, right? And that's how you end it. Because you're not going to convince them. The betting tactic can be charming and charismatic if there's some sexual attraction between. Say, I bet you a night of romping around and hey, you're wrong. And then the girl might be, oh my, now if she likes you, she'll take the bet because she's hoping she wins to prove you wrong, and she's hoping to fuck you, or if she proves you wrong, she hopes to win, and if you prove her wrong, then there's an excuse that she can go ahead and fuck you, and well, and then I'm not a slut, you know, that kind of thing. But otherwise, I guarantee you, the vast majority of them will chicken out because they're intellectual cowards, intellectual weaklings, and they're intellectually dishonest. They don't know. They've never done research. So that, in that sense, you could kind of win, and you gotta connect the point to them. Say, look, you're not even willing to bet this amount of money or this sexual favor or a back rub on whether you're right or wrong on this. So I don't want to hear a fucking shit. Your opinions are worth less than that. So shut the fuck up. We're done here. And that's it. That's about the only thing you can really do. Otherwise, it's like trying to convince an ISIS agent to give up Islam, a fundamentalist Christian pastor down south to give up Christianity, a feminist to give up feminism, or, I don't know, all these addictions that, a heroin addict to give up heroin. They got nothing else in their lives, and neither does this girl. So I bet you look at her background, liberal arts major, nothing really going on in her life, has no real value, doesn't want to work hard to actually produce something of value that would give her actual meaning and purpose in life, and is just going to regurgitate the same boring crap that everybody else does, making her common and kind of not valuable at all to society. Just another common mass-produced human. So anyway, I hope that helped. Hopefully maybe this slapped her up the face a little bit and I went, "You're for violence against women!" I don't think she'll get through half of this. But for your benefit and for your sanity, it really is for this. Do your best, structure it, don't let them get off the hook. You did a great job and they still try to get off the hook. But in the end, try that betting tactic and that'll bring it to a head and it'll give them a cup of shut the fuck up. Put up or shut the fuck up. And that's the best you can hope for. So, best of luck. Toodles.